What made me want to become a hairstylist? When I was at school, it was out of rebellion. So I went to a very posh school in England and I was head boy. And the school decided it would be a good thing if I got a job in government, in local government. And I've always hated snobbery. Even in those days, to make a little money, I used to work in a local salon, just cleaning up and washing hair and what have you. And when I told them I was going to be a hairdresser, I wasn't going to work in government, I got pulled into the headmaster's office and they took me to the government, job. They took me there. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a hairdresser. For recreation, I used to play cards. I used to play every weekend with these hairdressers who owned salons. And they were pretty good hairdressers in their own right. And they said to me that there is only one person that you should work with, and that was Vidal. And I went eventually to Vidal's for a job. I had to buck up a lot of courage, to go there. But I was very, very drawn to him and to what he was doing. I don't like tying my highlights into abstract things, but for me, the creativity was the highlight for me, because if I didn't have the creativity flowing, it was all pretty worthless. I mean, to be honest with you, I could say, the most important thing for me was to please my clients, and that was very important. But there was something just as important to me, and I had to please myself as well. How has the industry changed since I used to work every day? Well, I worked for a very long period and I saw massive changes. The big companies have taken over. People who don't create for a living, they are not particularly interested in creativity or art. They work on a very small percentage of a large turnover. And I know that we're working with high rents, high salaries, high everything. But we as an industry need to work to hold those prices down and to make it fun again. For me, the real art, the trick is doing great work at a great price. And I would like to see more of that, and I would like to see people trying to do that more. My favorite haircut of all time has to be the brush. I think that there's so many looks that are coming from it, and it was so far ahead of its time. It was created because of a mistake, because my model's hair had been ruined. But I use certain tricks to create the picture as well, which people don't know about. There were no products to make the hair stand up like that, so I use candle wax. And what are my career highlights? Creating pictures, creating haircuts for pictures, such as the brush, the thatch, the firefly. But I was very, very fortunate to be involved for a very long period with so many new looks and things that we did that really changed people's view about themselves around the world. I think very often it's the people that you don't hear about, the people with passion, coming up in Scotland or, wherever they're coming up in and doing that, very often they can be the great talents. It's not always the big name. would I ever return to hairdressing? The answer would be yes, particularly if I could be involved in something that I really believed in. I'd have to do that. I mean, it wouldn't just be for the money or, for this and that. I would have to feel that it would be a very, very useful thing to do.